Turn to 1 John 4. 1 John 4:16. John 4:16. One of the love chapters. Thought we'd look at love a little bit this morning. We like the love of God. I like living in the love of God. It's a safe place to be. I like living in the love of my wife. It's a safe place to be. I know she loves me. I know she's not going anywhere. You can find comfort in that. In the love of God, you can find comfort in that. It's the same love. That He's not going anywhere. He's there for you. He protects you. And He looks out for us. So let's get started. Verse 16, 1 John 4:16. And we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. Let's stop there. See, before up here, what he's talking about is dwelling in the love of God, and we dwell in Him, and He dwells in us, and you know, hearing His love, that God is love, and he gets into the love of God. But here we get to the point of we have known and believed the love of God. How many have known the love of God? To know something is to perceive it and to understand it, and actually it's an intimate thing. You know, it's a husband and wife. The man Adam knew Eve. That's the same kind of word there. That's the same word. To know something is to know it intimately. And when you know something intimately, what happens? What happens? When you know something or someone intimately, what happens? You're holding it. Exactly. What'd you say?
They become a part of it.
They become a part of it, but you reproduce. You produce something. When you get something intimate, you produce something. When you've known God, you've known the love of God. Here it says we've known and believed the love that God hath to us. When we know, we perceive that love. We understand that love. And we have an intimate relationship with that love. Something happens to us. Something happens. You produce. Too many people think, well, I don't produce anything. Sure you do. You have a relationship with God, something is produced. If you can know the love of God, He's put it in you. That's part of being born again. This is born in you, and you begin to have a relationship with the love of God. God is love. So you're having a relationship with God. You're having a relationship with love. It begins to change you. But what does the devil do? What does the devil do to you? He tells you your problem's too big. What you've been through is too big. What you've done is too big. What you've done is too bad. See, what's he saying? Your life is too hard. What you have going on in your life is just too massive. Your problem is just too big. Too big for what? The love of God. That's what the devil tries to tell you. God can't handle your problem. How many in here are just too bad, and what you've done is just too bad and too wrong for God to forgive or be able to handle? When you have an intimate relationship, an intimate encounter with the love of God, it begins to produce in you. What does it produce? It produces forgiveness. It produces victory. It produces the love of God, that I want more of that love. See, why am I married to my wife? She loves me. I love her, plain and simple. Our love grows. That's why we have such a good time in life. We cut up, we joke around, we play, we just have a good time in life. Why? We have an intimate relationship with each other's love. We love each other. And the love that we have, we understand it, we perceive it, and now it produces. What does it produce in our life? Happiness. Your relationship with God, what does it produce in your life? It should produce love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, meekness, faith, goodness, temperance. It should produce all of these things. But too many people are afraid to know the love of God. We want to know about it, but how many want to know it? We just want to see it, and we want to understand it, but I don't want to get too intimate with it. Because if you get intimate, your life changes. You guys figured out yet, when you have a baby, your life changes? What you knew is all over. It's gone. That door has closed. It's sealed, welded, wall built over, can't go back. It's all gone forever. Where there was a door, there is now a wall. But what do you have? You have a new door in front of you. Life that you knew is over. Life that's in front of you is just beginning. That baby is nothing but potential.
That's right.
Absolute potential for great happiness, great love, great peace, great everything. I'm sorry, Steve. I'll try not to move. I adjusted in the chair and messed up the camera. See, the baby is nothing but potential. When you have an intimate relationship with God, an intimate encounter with God, nothing is left that you knew before. It's all changed. When He gets into your life and you begin to produce what you had before, doesn't matter so much anymore. Now it's what's in front of you, the potential that's in front of you. Before, heartache, problems, pressure, trial, struggle. In front of you is what? Love, victory, faith, the will of God. Whatever He's doing in your life, He can overcome anything. I've seen recently God can overcome anything. It's not a problem. And it's become alive in me again. It's not like it had died, but it had not even gone dormant. It's just, there's so many other things to see in the Bible, but the Lord just recently just brought it all back here that anything's possible. Absolutely anything. Whatever you're going through, the love of God is big enough to handle it. The love of God is big enough to overcome it. You just have to have an intimate relationship with that love. You have to have an intimate encounter with God. And an intimate encounter where I'm staying here, Lord. This is love. I'm committed. I'm staying. Because, let me look at love. Well, let me go on and I'll hit it as we go. We have known and believed. Believe here is to place your confidence in. To have confidence or trust in or to commit to. When you believe something, you commit to it. Don't you?
Yep.
How many of you get behind the wheel of a car? Do you believe you can drive that car? You've committed to the fact, I can drive that car. If you're not committed to that fact, what's going to happen to you? You're liable to be dead between here and wherever you're going because you don't believe you can control the car. At some point, you're going to let go. When I was teaching Libby how to drive, she didn't have her permit. She didn't have any. I'd just take her out. You know, we'd go out in the back roads. And I'd say, okay, you drive now. We'd switch and she'd drive. She wasn't committed to the fact that she could drive. She wasn't committed to the fact that I'm in control of the car. Whatever I do, the car does. At some point, her earring fell off on her lap, on her side, and she panicked, thought it was a bug. She screamed. We're going down the road. She screamed and let go of the wheel and started slapping the bug. She wasn't committed to the car. She was committed to herself. Well, Jerry was committed to the car. I grabbed the wheel. I don't care if it's a tarantula or a snake or an animal that's gotten in and is chewing your leg off. Don't let go of the steering wheel. See, you have to be committed. If you've known and you've believed, you have to commit yourself to the love of God. That this is what it's going to take to get me through my life. The love of God. We like to say we believe something. My confidence is in it. But are you absolutely committed? Absolutely committed. I'm committed to my marriage. Absolutely. I believe in our marriage. I'm absolutely committed to it. I don't date. I'm committed. She doesn't date. I mean, I date my wife. We go out and, we go out to eat and we cut up and, we do all that. We act like two children. Right, Sam? Okay, you can say yes. If I start it, you can agree. Okay. If you can't start it though. Why can we do that? We're committed to our love. We're committed to our relationship. This says we have known and believed the love that God has to us. What is His love? Love is affection, goodwill, and benevolence. See, we believe that God has affection to us. We believe that He has goodwill toward us. How many believe God is benevolent? How many know what benevolent is? I'm getting ready to tell you. Benevolence. He has your best interest at heart. He has your best good at heart. That's benevolence. Are you committed in having an intimate relationship with His benevolence, with the fact that His best interest, or my best interest, is at is foremost in His mind? Every bit of good He wants for me. Are you committed to that fact? That's being committed to the love of God, that I know that my best good is all He wants. I have a relationship with the God of that. That no matter what happens in my life, all things work together for good for those that love God and are called according to His purpose. Those that have affection for God, those that live in the affections of God, those that live in the benevolence of God. Too many of us aren't committed to that. We'd like to think, oh, He's got my best interest at heart. We'd like to think that. But do you really believe that? Or has life played so many dirty tricks on you, and taken so many turns, and taken so many side streets that I didn't want to go down, that I'm not sure I really believe that. I learned a long time back, those side streets, that's just God killing my flesh. That's just a turn that He's taken, or letting my life take, to bring my flesh up so He can kill that flesh. So nothing's left there but the Spirit of God. Nothing's left there but the love of God. Nothing's left there but obedience and the will of God in my life. Because honestly speaking, if you could choose your will or God's will, knowing your way was probably going to be easy to the flesh, God's way is going to be a little bit harder on the flesh, which way are you going to pick? Honestly, which route are you going to pick? You're going to pick the flesh. You're going to pick the easy route. Human nature. That's just human nature. Path of least resistance. We were talking the other day about, and watching a thing on the television, on the news, about how they call it, order of children.
Birth order.
Birth order. Mm-hmm. And what the birth order in children, how it affects that child. And I don't think we heard that. I don't know if we ever heard it. We were just talking about it, and they kind of alluded to different things. I said, I came up with that years ago. Nobody paid me $1 million to do a study. I just came up with it reading the Bible and on my own, just observing people and observing my life and people that I've dealt with, case study kind of thing over years. And I realized through all that, being the baby of the family, I'm more happy-go-lucky than my older brothers. My two older brothers, driven, goal-oriented, driven. They got a goal, they go for it. They work and they get to it, and they go after it. They know what they want and they go after it. That is not me. My wife is forcefully shaking her head. No, that is not me. I'm not goal-oriented. I'm happy-go-lucky.